Good evening, you're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. The upcoming 2026 Asia-Pacific Aerospace Conference and Exhibition, APACE, is seen as a vital platform for advancing the growth of local talent in Sarawak, especially in the aerospace and aviation industries. State Education, Innovation and Talent Development Minister Dr. Sri Roland Sagawi says this initiative aligns with the state's ongoing efforts to strengthen its high-tech industry ecosystem.
And this is a conference and exhibition organized by the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development together with ICAT University College, and we are being assisted here by Business Event Sarawak and Borneo Business Connect. And it involves almost all ministries in Sarawak, especially those related to space and aviation.
Roland emphasizes that the development of local talent is a priority, especially with the presence of Sarawak's aviation company, Air Borneo, which requires a competent and competitive workforce.
As you all know that we are having our own Air Borneo, and also we want to let our people be having the skills in avionics, aviation, aerospace, satellite technology, and all that. So that is our main target first.
APACE 2026 is set to take place at BCCK from January 27th to the 29th, with an expected turnout of over 3,000 visitors, 1,000 delegates, 50 exhibitors, 60 speakers, and 50 conference sessions.
The recent announcement to disburse RM100 under the Sumbangan Asas Rahmah SARA to all Malaysian citizens aged 18 and above starting February 9 has garnered widespread approval. Many view this early aid as a welcome relief, easing financial burdens ahead of the Chinese New Year and the upcoming Ramadan festivities, both of which fall in mid-February. Grateful citizens are hopeful that the support will continue in the years to come. Let's hear what they have to say.
Untuk bantuan RM100 itu bagi rakyat yang membantu meringankan beban, bagi yang ada anak kecil dapat juga membantu beli barang-barang dapur untuk bulan Ramadan. Ada kebaikan juga lah dibagi awal lah. Bantuan macam tu memang baguslah kalau diteruskan sebab ramai rakyat yang memerlukan. Lebih-lebih lagi yang warga miskin lah, pendapatan rendah.
Saya rasa bantuan ini dapat membantu saya lah, terutama saya anak tunggal. Jadi bantuan itu saya dapat gunakan untuk persiapan Ramadan, yang mana seperti yang kita tahu Ramadan tengah bulan 2 dan waktu itu belum gaji lagi, dan bantuan ini sedikit sebanyak boleh membantu untuk keperluan pertama Ramadan nanti.
Can help us to handle the things I can buy things for Chinese New Year. If the kerajaan mau bantu kita mesti ambil sendiri punya duit tu. Kita susah lagi lah, sekarang untung duit pun susah.
The Ministry of Health, or MOH, is targeting the implementation of a ban on electronic cigarettes or vapes, beginning with restrictions on open system devices this year. Health Minister Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad says this initial measure is incorporated into the Smoking Product Control Policy framework and has received preliminary approval from Prime Minister Dr. Sri Anwar Ibrahim.
Kita menantikan persetujuan daripada kabinet, ya, dan ini telah pun saya wawarkan dahulu especially the vape open system itu dan sebagainya. Mungkin kita akan membuat beberapa langkah, ya, tetapi langkah pertamanya adalah untuk ban the open system vape yang menjadi utama yang telah disalahgunakan dengan pelbagai synthetic drugs. Ya.
Dr. Zulkifli stresses the ministry's commitment to modernize the public health system and improve the quality of service delivery in line with the ministry's reform agenda for 2026 to 2027. He adds that controlling electronic cigarettes forms part of a broader public health approach, particularly in tackling non-communicable diseases and protecting young people from nicotine addiction.
On to world news. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has departed for Turkey earlier today for an official visit, part of efforts to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. Anwar is accompanied by his wife, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, along with a Malaysian delegation. In a post on Facebook, Anwar says the visit opens the door to broader cooperation across various sectors, built on long-standing values of friendship and mutual respect between Malaysia and Turkey. Anwar is scheduled to meet Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and co-chair the Malaysia-Turkey High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council. The visit reflects the shared commitment of Malaysia and Turkey to further enhance strategic cooperation in a more structured and comprehensive manner. Iran and Syria are known to be sworn enemies of Israel, not because they abhor any ill intentions towards Israel, but because Zionists label them as threats to its security and as powers that constantly go against its campaign to take over Palestine. Diplomatic ties between these countries went sour, most prevalently in 2025 when Israel constantly struck them with missiles, while also stealthily injuring civilians with explosive pagers and walkie-talkies. From accusing them of political corruption and owning undisclosed nuclear weapons, here's part 3 of the number of times of Israel attacked other countries besides Palestine in 2025. Today, we're zooming into Iran and Syria.
Up to December 5th, 2025, the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, or ACLED, reveals Israel struck Iran 379 times, while Syria was attacked 207 times. Though Israel has constantly made Iran a target, the strike on June 13th, 2025 made global headlines when Israel hit Iran with 200 jets, targeting nuclear, military and infrastructure sites across the country, including its main nuclear facility in Natanz. The conflict went on for 12 days, and during that period, Israel also attacked residential neighborhoods, killing several nuclear scientists and military commanders. On June 22nd, 2025, the U.S. joined the attacks, bombing 3 nuclear facilities in Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Iran retaliated with hundreds of ballistic missiles against Israeli cities. According to an ACLED tally, Israel launched at least 379 attacks across 28 of Iran's 31 provinces using air or drone strikes. Meanwhile, in Syria, Israel launched more than 200 attacks, most of which were concentrated in the southern governorates of Quneitra, Dara, and Damascus. It has been attacking Syria for years, trying to justify its actions by claiming to eliminate Iranian military installations. Since the fall of the Assad government in December 2024, Israel claims it has been trying to prevent weapons from falling into the hands of the so-called extremists, a term it has applied to a rotating list of actors, most recently including Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, the primary Syrian group that led the operation to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. And on July 16th, Israel struck the headquarters of the Syrian Ministry of Defense and areas close to the presidential palace in the capital, Damascus, dramatically escalating another military front in the region. These reports were compiled by Al Jazeera using data collected from ACLED based on verified reports and likely undercount the actual number of attacks due to reporting gaps in conflict zones.
The United States has launched an unprecedented military operation in Venezuela, striking targets in and around Caracas and detaining President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, on Saturday. The operation has triggered global condemnation and raised serious questions over international law, sovereignty, and the precedent set by the arrest of a sitting head of state. RT's senior correspondent, Murat Gastiev, examines the international shockwaves as well as the growing sense of uncertainty over what comes next.
You may have seen the latest video from New York whereby Nicolas Maduro, kidnapped with his wife from Venezuela, taken to New York, is now being paraded around New York City. He's been placed in a van, and the van is driving around New York with its doors open, paraded like a circus animal, something you might expect in the Wild West 200 years ago, but it's happening now in 2026, whereby the leader of an entire nation, the most oil-rich nation in the world, is being paraded like some sort of exhibit around New York. And that is what is introducing so much uncertainty around the world, because that is a message not only to Americans that from Donald Trump that we've caught him, but this is a message to all presidents, to all nations, to all peoples around the world that this could happen to them if they go against American interests, if they don't act in a way that the United States finds satisfactory, finds favorable. The fact is, of course, that the accusations that Nicolas Maduro, the head of the most oil-rich nation in the world, would have a part-time job as a drug trafficker, well, these accusations, especially given that the United States offered no evidence, no proof, there's no court or charges, well, that they don't hold water. Essentially, many believe that these charges were made up in order to provide any sort of ground or framework for the United States to essentially abduct a president. And that is the message. That is what every single ruler, every single president, prime minister and elected official saw in what happened here in Caracas. But as I say, both in Caracas and internationally, essentially the effect has been an incredible amount, an injection of uncertainty. Uncertainty whereby here in Venezuela nobody is aware or nobody understands whether American jets will come and bomb the city again, who they'll target this time, whether they'll target, perhaps power plants or people's workplaces, or what Donald Trump will come up with next. Internationally, of course, the fear is much different, and that is that Donald Trump and his administration, the United States, could come up with any other excuse to invade or to bomb any other country for made-up or other reasons. And that is an uncertainty that is unlikely to go away anytime soon.
Get all the updates you need all in one app. TVS Inspires brings you live updates on events, news and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire will on your screen anytime, anywhere. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.